Here's a question that almost every founder gets wrong. Is your product actually good, or do you just think it is? I sat down with someone who's seen hundreds of pitches, invested in dozens of companies, and spent years inside the VC world. And the very first thing he said was not about market size or unit economics, it was something far more fundamental. Let's get into it. So I spoke to someone who is in the venture capital world, and he spoke about things that people actually use, feel, experience when it comes to products. This was a very honest, a very direct conversation about what it takes to build something that truly matters. So he started off with something that sounds quite simple, but actually it's quite profound. When you're entering any category, you need to understand what you feel when you use the product. Not what the data is saying, not what the focus group told you, but what you actually feel. Because if you're building a product and you cannot articulate that feeling, that emotional response, you're really going to struggle to communicate it to anyone else. That emotional truth is the core of any great product storytelling. Then he said something that I think a lot of founders really need to hear. If a category has been around for a long time, respect it, even if it looks boring. Because there's this tendency to dismiss something that's old as ripe for disruption without actually understanding that they exist the way they do, they are who they are and what they serve, and they've been around for decades for a reason. So respect that category, learn the history, learn the rituals, because knowledge is where the innovation really lies. And from there, he challenged founders to do something pretty hard. Conceptualize the product that doesn't exist before. Do not just improvise what is there, but reimagine it entirely. Give up on what is not working, not what is hard. I think that is the distinction that is everything. Hard things are worth pushing through. Things that aren't working, that the market has consistently rejected, you have to have the courage to let that go. Most founders cannot even tell the difference until it's too late. Now, he was very clear on two interlinked things. Do things outside your comfort zone. That is where the growth is. But never, ever lie about your product. You cannot lie when it comes to your product. The market is merciless. They will call out your bluff faster than an investor even could. So founders who oversell or who are stretching the truth or in their pitch decks or they're marketing it, they get found out, and that damage does so much to a founder's credibility that is so hard to really recover from. And he said that every entrepreneur needs someone in their life who is a no BS filter. So this can be a mentor, it can be a friend, it can even be a parent. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that this person is the person you go through to cut through all the noise, the validation seeking, the echo chamber, the unvarnished truth. Build a relationship with that person before things get hard, and that person will become more valuable than any advisor or any board member could. And if you take external money, he said, hiring is going to become one of your biggest responsibilities. The wrong hire, especially at the leadership level, can fundamentally change a company's trajectory. It cannot just slow it down, but it can change it. So, run the hiring process with the same rigor and the same conviction that you do to your product decisions. And then this final thought, which kept coming back: trust the process. Stay open to modifying it, the hours you put in, the consistency, the execution. Yes, that is where the opportunity reveals itself. But if the evidence is telling you that something is not right, be open enough to pivot, adjust, adapt. Rigidity in the face of real feedback is how a company will die slowly. So if there's one person in your life right now who functions as your no BS filter, tell them thank you. And if you haven't done this, subscribe to these conversations because you'll be getting so much more. Hope you enjoyed watching.